Hey, and welcome into the NWGA football Pickem show, week 5. Brooks Carter, Benton Burge. We'll be on here to give you our best predictions on the games this week. We didn't do too good of a job last week in our upset pick of the weeks, but we got some for you this week.
Do we now? All right.
Well, Lawrence, you didn't sound very confident when you said do our best job to pick the games. That sounds
Yeah, we'll absolutely do our best. And like I said, if you want to join us, man, you can log on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. You can show us your picks. We'll get them online. What's going on, Eric? Eric's here with us every week, man. He's actually done
Every
a pretty
week.
good job.
Yeah. Yeah. Better than us last week, for sure.
All right, let's get these things going here, and we'll start out with the big one, man. Up at the top, Gainesville at Carrollton, which is going to be a huge game. Carrollton, a 2-touchdown favorite.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a battle. I think the fact that it's in Carrollton is big. I like, you know, I like to see what happens when Carrollton has to play 4 quarters here, and I think they'll have to. I think Carrollton wins. Probably, I think it's going to be close.
Yeah, I think if you decide to go watch this game, it's the equivalent of watching like a college level football game Friday night. I mean, this is D1 players all over the field in this game. I think this is per our report we put out a few weeks ago. I think this is 2 of the 3 highest paid coaches in the state. What they were basically small colleges. This is like little college factories here, between these 2 schools. This is an exciting matchup. I lean Carrollton, but I'll be honest. There's part of me that wants to pick Gainesville here, but I just think QB play is a little too much on Carrollton's side, so I'm going to go Carrollton here, but underneath the number.
Yeah, I think it's kind of hard to bet against Juju right now, man. He's just on a whole different level. He's leading the state in passing yards, 18 passing touchdowns already, and I don't even think he's played a full game, maybe outside the Rome game. I like Carrollton probably by that 14.
Yep, we all
Paulding,
got Hickville coming.
Paulding County at South Cobb. Paulding County, a 22-point favorite.
Yeah, I like Paulding County in this one.
Yeah, I do too. If I'm not mistaken, no, I was basically off the whole week last week. As Paulding won at this point, I know they've had a pretty tough schedule.
That I don't know.
I can
Yeah,
find out.
yeah, I was just thinking that. If not, I mean, I know they've had a tough schedule, but they've played, East Paulding, and I think they played Hiram. 2 talented teams in the first couple of weeks. I think this is a good opportunity for them to win and win convincingly. So I'll take the Patriots here.
Yeah, they lost to Hiram 48-41, lost to North Atlanta 31-10, and the East Paulding beat them last week 34-3, or 2 weeks ago, excuse me. They were off last week. And then South Cobb is also 0-3. So 2 teams looking for a win.
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
think Paulding County gets their first win here.
yeah, I saw them live a couple of weeks ago at East Paulding. Man, they played pretty strong first half. Mason Bryant, quarterback there. He's a next level kid. Great size. I think they'll pull the win at South Cobb. North Paulding traveling to North Cobb. North Cobb is a 27-point favorite.
I mean, I like this North Cobb team, but North Paulding is not a slouch by any means. I think North Cobb wins the game, but I think it's less than the number there.
I think North Cobb's getting a lot of respect for what they did last week against Cass. I think there was a lot of respect for Cass going into that game, rightfully so. Cass had looked the part, had looked really talented, and they still are. But I was shocked by how bad North Cobb handled the Cass in that game, and I think North Cobb wins. And but I agree with you, Ben. I don't think it's by 4 touchdowns. I think it's probably more like 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I became a believer in North Cobb after last Friday night, man. Very impressive win at Cass. Solid team. I'm going to jump on the bandwagon and take North Cobb. East Paulding at Rome. Rome's ranked number 9 by the AJC. East Paulding number 10. Going to be a huge game at Barron Stadium. Rome is a 12-point favorite.
Oh boy, Rome looking for a victory here. East Paulding not a bad team. I think. Of course, I said this last week, but I think Rome gets off the snide here and gets a close win. I think it's probably one score, maybe 10 points. East Paulding's going to hang in there, I think.
I think this Rome team, I really like East Paulding and what they've done to this point in the year, but I think Rome's got to get on track at some point. They played the number 1 team. Their 2 losses are to number 1 teams in each of their classification. I think Rome picks up their first win of the season this week. John Reed has never lost to East Paulding. They've played every year since 2016, and he's never lost to them, and I think that continues here.
Good stat. Good information.
There it is, man. I'm going with the East Paulding Raiders. I know this is a game they've been looking forward to for a year now. I think they had the advantage when it comes to experience, loaded with seniors, Javen Parker, Chance Bownight. I think it's going to be a tough battle. I wouldn't be surprised if Rome wins, but I like the Raiders here. South Paulding at Lithia Springs. Lithia Springs is a 5-point favorite.
Yeah, this one's a tough one. Don't know a lot about Lithia Springs. I know South Paulding's kind of been struggling just a bit. At Lithia Springs, I'll give Lithia Springs a close victory in this one.
Quickly, I did want to just correct myself. East Paulding's played Rome almost every year except for the last 2 years. They'd played every year from 2016 to that point. I always bother myself when I go back and find mistakes that I've made in the show. So I did want to correct myself real quick on that. But, Lithia Springs is ran into a buzzsaw last week with Carrollton, lost 63-0. Not quite the task this week with taking on South Paulding in their region opener. But as Benton mentioned, South Paulding struggled to pick up a win. A lot of the games have been close throughout the first half. I think their closest game was against Altoona. They lost by 2 points in week 2. I like South Paulding in this one. I think they've got some talent. I think they've just had a tough schedule to start this year, and I think they're going to pick up a win in their region opener.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough battle back and forth. Jake Keller says he saw Lithia Springs last week, and he thinks South Paulding's going to win. I'm going to go with South Paulding also in a close one. Villa Rica on the road at Alexander. Villa Rica, 12-point favorite.
Boy. On the road, I like Villa Rica, but I like it closer than the 12. I think Alexander is not a terrible team. Villa Rica kind of been. I mean, they haven't been the old Villa Rica, but I think they are going in the right direction. And I like them to win the game, but like I said, less than 12.
Yeah, I like Villa Rica as well, and the only game they've won this year has been on the road, and they won that one 31-0. So maybe they'll prove to be one of those road warrior type teams this year. So I like Villa Rica in this one.
Yeah, they gave the Central Lions a good game last Friday night. Hung with them until the fourth quarter. I think a quarterback there, Wade Wallace, man, gets it done with his feet. I think they win on the road at Alexander. Dalton and Cartersville open region play. Cartersville, a 35-point favorite.
Yeah, it's kind of funny I say this, but I think there'll be a hurricane warning on Friday night. I think Cartersville gets it done big.
Yeah, I mean, I think the insanely difficult schedule for Dalton continues here, right? I'm sure several of you have seen the kind of open letter to Catamount Country, Catamount Nation that head coach Kit Carpenter sent out addressing kind of their 0-4 start here. But this is a team that's going to continue to get better, but it's not going to look that way in wins and losses. And this is going to be another example of that this week. I just don't see them beating Cartersville. So Purple Hurricanes big in this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Canes. I mean, tough defense. Offense is clicking right now. I think Cartersville's got their eyes set on the Benz in mid December. Hiram at Cass. Cass is a 25-point favorite.
Man, that's 25 is a lot of points against a pretty good Hiram team that's been able to score some points. I like Cass to win the game. I think Cass has more talent at home. I'm going to say less than 25, though.
Kind of expected a little more from Hiram to this point in the year. They're 1-3. I know they've had a pretty tough non-conference schedule playing Central, Carroll, and East Paulding the last 2 weeks. But I like Cass in this game. I think this is a get-right game for Cass. I think they played a team in North Cobb that is probably a lot better than a lot of people realized last week. I mean, that's a team that looked like a state championship contender, in my opinion, North Cobb last week. So I think Cass gets back on track this week playing at home.
Yeah, I like Cass here at this one at home. 25 points is a lot of points, though, to put on Hiram. I mean, Hiram can light the scoreboard up. I like Cass by about 15 or 20. Allatoona at Cedartown. Cedartown, a 26-point favorite.
Yeah, I look for there to be a big crowd at Cedartown. The defense is playing well. The offense has got plenty of skill. I think Cedartown handles business here.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Cedartown's given up 7 or less in 3 of their first 4 games this year. Defense is really stout, and I expect that to continue. I like Cedartown probably by the number. I think, in our comment section on social media, Cedartown is feeling like at least their fans are feeling disrespected. I'm sure that trickles down to the players as well, and I think they're eager to continue to prove themselves this year.
Yeah, I kind of like the way the Bulldogs are playing this year, man. It kind of reminds me of that 2022 season when they had that chip on their shoulder. They feel like everybody's against them. I think that gives them a little extra boost, man. I like Cedartown in this one. Too many offensive weapons with Tay Harris, Marcus Gardner. Really good on defense. I'm going to take Cedartown here by 26 or more. Southeast Whitfield at Northwest Whitfield. Northwest Whitfield, 35-point favorite.
Yeah, crosstown mates here. Don't have to go very far to get there, but good thing because I think it's going to be a tough trip back. I think Northwest has got, a lot of talent. Southeast has been kind of troubled so far. I think Northwest gets it done pretty big.
Yeah, this game got moved up to 6:30 tomorrow with some of this inclement weather coming in. Southeast has not beaten Northwest since 2017, and they've struggled to do anything in this game the last 3 years. Looking at the last 3 scores, it's been 37-0, 48-0, 52-6, and I expect that number to be pretty similar tomorrow night. Northwest big.
Yeah, the Bruins are getting a lot of respect from the AJC voters. I think they're number 6 right now in their top 10. They don't do anything to disprove that this Friday night. I think they get the big win. GAC at Lumpkin County. Lumpkin County, a 17-point favorite.
Ooh, that's weird for me to see GAC as a 17-point underdog because when I played, GAC was loaded. Caleb King in the bunch. Let's see. I'm going to take Lumpkin at home, but less than 17. And I might have said the wrong name. I think Caleb King played at Parkview, but they had a good running back at GAC.
If I remember correctly, back during the summer, I think all 3 of us maybe picked Greater Atlanta Christian and Lumpkin as 1 and 2 in this region. And I think a few of us picked Greater Atlanta Christian to win the region. So They haven't had the start to the year that I expected for sure with this 0-3 start. Lumpkin looks really good to this point in the year. Outside of their loss opening week, they've looked really good the last couple of weeks. They're getting a lot of respect in the Cal Prep and the Massey computer polls. I like Lumpkin County at home in this one.
Yeah, I'm hearing that Lumpkin is going to be 100% healthy for the first time this season. Going back and looking at that Cherokee Bluff loss, man, it really isn't that big of a loss now. I mean, Cherokee Bluff's ranked in the top 10. I like Lumpkin at home. White County at Pickens, coin flip game.
Yeah, Pickens has been that team that's been in the close games and got it done. So if it's an even game, at Pickens, I'm gonna take Pickens. I'm gonna ride with RJ's Dragons and in a close one.
Yeah, Pickens. Their games have been decided by a combined 7 points this year. It's they've won a pair of games by field goal and then lost by 1 point to Gilmer. And then they're coming off a bye week back at home. I like Pickens in this one. White County put, I think, 55 on the scoreboard in their last game, so they've got some firepower on offense. I expect this one to be into the 30s for both teams, though. I think this will be another tight game for Pickens, but I think they win it.
Yeah, this is our upset pick of the year last year. Pickens upset White County as 28-point underdogs. I think it's going to be tough for Pickens to get it done this Friday night, man. Trip Nix, quarterback at White County, 6 touchdowns last Friday night. I got to looking at his stats from last year, man. The kid put up over 2,500 yards, 31 touchdowns. I think White County scores enough to beat the Dragons. Calhoun at Cambridge. Cambridge, a 12-point favorite.
Cambridge is one of those teams that's just been lighting the scoreboard up, averaging nearly 40 points a game against, decent competition from what I've looked at. It's at Cambridge. They're scoring all those points. Calhoun's been giving up a few points. They gave up. I know there was some garbage points against Cartersville last week, but they gave up a few. I think Cambridge is going to sneak this one out, but closer than the number.
Yeah, Cambridge, 4-0 start. All 4 wins have been against 5 or 6A schools. That's impressive in itself, Cambridge being a 4A school. I think Calhoun's really battle tested to this point in the year. They played Cartersville, Creekview, Westminster. If you compare common scores, Cambridge beat Creekview 32-0. Calhoun lost to Creekview. So both were, they lost to Creekview by a touchdown. So I know that didn't mean much in high school, but I'm going to lean Cambridge in this just based off common scores. But I think it's going to be about a touchdown or less.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Cambridge in this one. That being said, I need Calhoun to win for my fantasy draft team. I need some points, man. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Cambridge at home. Gilmer at Westminster. Westminster, 8-point favorite.
Yeah, I went back and forth on this one, even though it's an 8-point game. I landed on Westminster. I think them being at home, they're sitting there, 2-2. But I think they'll have a good enough defense to score just enough points, which is what you got to do, obviously, to win the game. But I like it somewhere around that number.
Yeah, I like what Westminster in this game as well. Being at home, you look at their 2 losses; they've been to a good quality Calhoun team. I know I just picked against Calhoun, but Calhoun's had a really tough non-conference, non-region schedule. 2 quality losses. Love it. They played at the beginning of the year, lost by 3 points. I think they're really battle tested as well. And at home, I think Gilmer obviously presents some challenges with that triple option offense, but I think they'll get the job done against Gilmer.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it the trifecta. I will go with Westminster also at home. Tryon at Lafayette. Tryon is a 35-point favorite on the road.
Yeah, I think the Bulldogs go to Lafayette and flex their muscles a bit and get a big win.
I was curious to look this up. What these two teams have played a ton. Tryon leads the all-time series 42-23, but Lafayette hasn't won this game since 2011. I think Tryon continues that trend here and picks up what'll be their might be their 10th consecutive win if I'm doing math on the fly here against the Lafayette Ramblers.
Yeah. I know Lafayette looked good a couple of weeks ago against Gordon Lee. They gave them a tough game. Tryon's been a second half team this year. They've outscored their opponents by a ton in the second half. I'm curious to see how they start Friday night. But yeah, I think Tryon wins in the end. Sonoraville and Coahulla Creek. Sonoraville is a touchdown favorite.
Yeah, Snorville's had a hard time putting the ball in the end zone a good bit. Defense has been fairly stingy. I think this will be a pretty interesting game. I think at Coahulla Creek can make it a little more interesting, especially with the predicted weather that we're looking for. I'm going to go with Sonoraville in a close one on the road at the Creek.
Yeah, both teams 0-3 coming into this game. Coincidentally, both teams' last game was against North Cobb Christian. I think this is going to be a really interesting game. Sonoraville has had kind of trouble getting the offense going. Likewise with Coahulla Creek, I think this is going to be a low-scoring game because you haven't seen a ton of success from the offensive side of the ball. Also, I think the big play bug has bitten both defenses to this point in the year. So I think whichever team can create some explosive plays in this game is going to be the one, and maybe force a couple of turnovers is going to be the one that comes out victorious in this.
Yeah, the Phoenix, they haven't really played a bad game yet. Lost to Model in overtime, which is a team that we found out last week versus Tryon, pretty good ball club. Pickens, and they battled North Cobb Christian close last Friday night. I think the Phoenix get in the win column this week at Coahulla Creek in a close game. Eric here, man, he's going with that his upset pick of the week. He's going Coahulla Creek 21-14. North Murray on the road at Murray County. Murray County shootout. North Murray is a 35-point favorite.
Yeah, I think the yellow and black of North Murray will be able to celebrate at the what is Murray, green and black?
Green and white.
Oh, green and white. Okay, North Murray gets it done on the road.
Yeah, I think North Murray handles this one. They play kind of the style that North Murray's been playing this year has been real low scoring though. So I do think it could be within that 35 point number potentially. I don't think Murray County's going to score much, but I also don't think North Murray's going to score enough to beat them by 5 touchdowns. But I think the Mountaineers will win.
Yeah, I saw where Hudson Hewlett, quarterback at North Murray, he got comfortable in the quarterback spot last Friday night. Put up close to 300 total yards. They had a tough schedule to start the season with Dalton and Northwest Whitfield. I think they roll pretty easily in this one. Ringgold at North Cobb Christian. North Cobb Christian is a 2-point favorite.
Yes, sir. I think I like the Tigers in this one. I think North Cobb has a good squad. Don't get me wrong, but I think Ringgold is just a notch above the teams that they've been playing, and they found something with Frost and Lawrence. Help me with your guy, his compadre in the backfield. What's his name?
Freeze.
Yeah,
Hayden Freeze.
Freeze and Frost. Yeah, the
Freeze and Frost
combination has been tough to stop, and they can put the ball in the air too and play tough defense. I like Ringo on the road against North Cobb as my upset pick of the week.
Yeah, I think this is such an interesting game. I think this is the one that I'll be paying attention to the most this week, simply from the fact of I think everyone had kind of determined Rockmart was going to be in a landslide the team to beat in this region. I think I believe I remember Lawrence saying he didn't think a team would come within 4 touchdowns of Rockmart in this region this year, and we saw what happened last week on the road. Rockmart able to hold on in overtime and pick up their first win of the season. This is a huge measuring stick game from North Cobb Christian. Are they going to cement themselves as the number 2 challenger, like they were picked in the preseason, or is Ringgold going to be that team? And I'm going to lean North Cobb Christian. Ringgold, that's a pretty long trip down I-75 down to Kennesaw to take on the Eagles. And I was just there a couple of weeks ago with Cahola Creek playing down there. Really interesting setup. Not a lot of opportunity to have fan support when you're the away team there. No away bleachers. That makes it really hard on the away team, standing over there on their own sideline by themselves with no fan support behind them. It kind of sucks, to be honest. So I'm going to lean North Cobb Christian in this one.
Yeah, this is a game I'm going to be at Friday. Man, I can't help but get down here and watch this one. This is probably the most exciting game on the schedule. Like Brooks said, North Cobb Christian is a tough place to play. It's different from any stadium you'll go to. I think it's going to be a defensive battle. Man, I like North Cobb in this one, maybe 14-7. Union County at Rockmart. Rockmart 30-point favorite.
Yeah, I think Rockmart, correct some things after that really close overtime win last week. I think Union is a pretty decent team. I don't think they're as good as Ringgold. I think Rockmart wins, but less than 30.
I think this is, if I'm not mistaken, a rematch of a second-round playoff game from last year. Union made the trip down to Rockmart before they were region foes, and obviously Rockmart got the better of them as they went all the way to the Benz to play in the state championship. But this is not the same Union County team that they saw in the second round of the playoffs last year. Union County got their first win of the season last week at home against Murray. Finally got some offensive success going in that game. I think that is a good building block for them, but not going to be nearly enough on the road at Rockmart. I like Rockmart probably by about 4 touchdowns in this one.
Yeah, I think the Jackets will get some things worked out. I mean, they played well last week on the defensive side of the ball. They held Ringgold to like 88 total yards until that fourth quarter. They turned the ball over 5 times and were still able to come away with the win. I think they're ready to be home. They're ready to put some points on the board. I like Rockmart by the 30. Bremen at Rabun. Rabun County, 11-point favorite.
Yeah, I think this game has a opportunity to be a really good game. I like what Bremen has athletically going up against Rayburn. The problem is when you go to Rabun County, you got to play perfect football, and I think Rayburn has just enough to get it done, probably by somewhere around the 10-point mark.
Yeah, I was really excited to see Bremen have some success in light of everything going on with their quarterback, starting quarterback, and last week with a win over McNair. I'll be curious to see if they can ride that emotion into a big road win this week up at Rabun County before they get into region play. That is a very, very tough place to go play, though, and I think Rabun County's going to be prepared, and I like them in this game.
Yeah, this is a tough place to play. 2 top 15 teams here going head to head. The only advantage for Rabun is, Bremen, long bus ride to Rabun County. Very talented team up there this year. I'm going to go with Rabun. Whitefield Academy at Darlington. Whitefield is a 16-point favorite.
Yeah, Darlington is kind of not been exactly what I thought they would with experienced quarterback and running back coming back. I think Whitefield Academy gets it done on the road, but I think it's probably closer than 16.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think I might go. I think I might go Darlington here. Make this my upset pick of the week here. Put some big points on the board a couple of weeks ago against Ridgeland to kind of get some stuff going on the offensive side of the ball. I think they'll carry that confidence through the bye week into this week at home against Whitefield Academy. So give me the Darlington Tigers in an upset pick this week.
Yeah, I think Whitefield Academy, top 15 team in Calpret's poll and single A. Darlington, I really don't have a good gauge on them yet. I do think Whitefield wins, but I think it's closer than the 16. Heard County at Bowden. Bowden, a 29-point favorite.
Yeah, I think Herd has got enough to hang around for a little bit. I think we've seen that against Trine a few weeks ago. I do think Bowden wins, and I think they win by more than a touchdown, but I don't think they will have that 29-point win. I think it'll be more like 17-21.
Yeah, I think this game will be pretty a lot closer than that 29 point number there. I do like Bowden in this game. They seem like they're I think Lawrence pointed out, so they got kind of pissed off after week one, didn't they? I mean, they've just been on a tear since then, and I think that continues. I think big thing for Bowden is if they can limit this offense and keep them from, they're definitely not going to win if Bowden gets into the 50s again. So I think if they can keep them maybe to the high 20s, low 30s, they stand a chance. Easier said than done, though, but I like Bowden.
Yeah, this is our top 2 scoring teams in Northwest Georgia so far this year. Both of them averaging about 45 points a game. I don't think Bowden's defense can keep Herd off the scoreboard, but I don't think Herd can keep Bowden's team off the scoreboard either. I don't think there's too many high school teams around here that can stop a pro throw at wide receiver. 4 touchdown catches last week, 6'6", 200 pounds. I like Bowden by 21. Here's an interesting game here to open up the region play in 7A. R. Murchie at Gordon Lee. Gordon Lee, an 18-point favorite.
Didn't we say beforehand that this one's been moved to Thursday?
Thursday, yep.
Yeah, I think it's a real good possibility I might have to sneak up there to this one because I think this is going to be a pretty good game. I think Armurchie is physical enough to hang in there. The only question is, can they put up enough points? If Gordon Lee busts a few big plays, can Armurchie put up enough points to hang with them? I think Gordon Lee wins, but I think it's by less than 18.
Yeah, Armurchie's 3-0, but I do think you have to consider who they've played. The 3 teams they've played are a combined 0-9. I think that's you have to consider that with that 3-0 start. With that said, they have looked as good as you could look in that 3-0 start. Especially the last couple of weeks, they put up over 40 points on offense. But I mean, Gordon Lee had what I thought was one of the biggest surprise wins of so far to this point in the season with a win over Heritage last week. They were the biggest mover in our composite power ranking that we do between the Massey and the Cal Preps computer polls. They jumped 5 spots, I believe, after the win over Heritage. I like Gordon Lee in this one. I saw him back in the spring. Got a lot of good athletes, and I think they win this one by a couple of scores.
Yeah, I think this is an opportunity for the Indians to earn some respect. 3-0 right now. 18-point underdogs on the road at Gordon Lee. I went back and watched that Gordon Lee Heritage game, man. I was real impressed with the way Gordon Lee mixed up the offense, threw the ball around a lot, had a lot of different options on the offensive side. Gordon Lee, tough place to play. I think Armurchie keeps it closer than 18, but I'm going to go with the Trojans at home. Chattooga on the road at Gordon Central to open the region play. Chattooga, a 25-point favorite.
You want to go ahead, Brooks?
Sure. I like Chattooga in this one. I think Gordon Central has enough offensive firepower to play this one within the number, but I don't think they have enough to stop Zayden Cook. He's, I think, one of the top running backs, at least in the north half of the state, potentially statewide. We'll see by the end of the year. He's the fourth leading rusher in the country. I found out today, averaging 281 yards a game. If they can keep feeding the beast and he stays healthy, they're going to go a long way this year. I like Chattooga, but within the number, I think it's going to be maybe like 28-14, 31-14, something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Jake Keller here. This is he said Coosa, but he meant Gordon Central. Good opportunity for Gordon Central to earn some respect, keeping the game within that 25 points. I think Gordon Central has enough size on the defensive line to maybe slow Cook down a little bit, but I don't think from an offensive standpoint they have enough points to match the Indians. I'm gonna go Chattooga by 21.
I kind of went back and forth on what I was going to say here because I don't want to create a lot of bulletin board material, but I'll just put it out there as straightforward as I can be. Um, I like Gordon Central's progress. I like where they're at, and I like what Chattooga has done. And if you're giving me sloppy weather on a sloppy field, I'm going to take Zayden Cook and the Indians, and if you can't stop the run, you're not going to stop Chattooga. So that's the first thing. I'll say somewhere around the points. I kind of want to go over the points, to be honest with you, though. I don't think that they're going to slow the run game down, and I don't think they'll have enough or be able to manufacture enough in the passing game uh, to score a whole lot of points as far as Gordon Central side goes. Sorry, I think I just created that material that I was talking about.
All right.
Gable's going to be on the phone after this show's over.
I mean, he's ready to go, I'm sure.
Dade County, 5-point favorites on the road at Christian Heritage. Huge matchup in 7A.
Yeah, I like Dade in this one. I think Christian Heritage has the ability to throw the ball around. I think Dade can keep that in check enough. And Dade's physicalness, I guess, physicality is going to be too much, I believe, for Christian Heritage line of scrimmage. And they're going to pound them. And I think the game will be close for a while, and Dade's going to pull away by a couple touchdowns in the end. I'll take Dade.
Yeah, this is a game where, speaking of weather, if you kind of can compare and contrast the styles of these two teams, Christian Heritage is a little bit more of a finesse team. They do like to throw the ball a lot. They run a spread offense. I think this fits the personality of Dade County and what they like to do. I think if it's wet field, I think Dade County wins this game. Christian Heritage is kind of a sneaky, tough place to play, but I think Dade County gets it done. And what I think is a really, really significant region matchup. I think both of these two teams are going to be playoff teams.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Christian Heritage week 1 in that game versus Heritage. That was kind of a surprising result. They've rightened the ship since then. Carter Triplett, I think he's accounted for 10 touchdowns over the last 2 games. The key for Dade is going to be keeping him in check. I mean, Triplett can run the ball, throw the ball. Dade County, physical team. Man, I think this game is going to be super close. Coin flip. I'm going to take Dade County by the 5 points. And then to close out the 7A schedule, Fannin County at Coosa. Fannin County, a 35-point favorite.
Yeah, I think Coosa has improved. I really like the direction that Coosa's going in. By saying that, I think Fannin is good enough to probably get close to this spread. I think Fannin wins this game fairly easily, somewhere probably around the 28-point mark.
Yeah, I like Fannin big in this one, and I wouldn't be surprised if they if they cover the number, as one of the commenters just said. Similar almost to to the 3 wins that our Armuchee has to this point. Coos has played Ridgeland and Southeast to get those wins. Don't want to discredit them too much for that, but those are not good football teams, and this is a really, really good football team. They're number 1 in our smaller school power ranking right now, and they're number 1 for a reason. I like Fannin County big.
Yeah, hats off to what the Eagles have done so far early in the season, but they haven't played anybody like Fannin County. It is a long drive for Fannin County to Coosa, man. That might take a little off the scoreboard, but I like Fannin big in this one. All right, guys, that concludes week 5 Pickem show, man. We'll be back on Friday night post game with a scoreboard show. Join us then. Hopefully everybody's dry. We might be soaked on Friday night.